Just a few hours ago, with the stroke of a pen, the president marked the end of a shutdown that left thousands of workers without pay, millions of low-income Americans without federal food assistance, and chaos at our nation's airports.
Sandra Mitchell is here now with a look at the funding package and the stunning release of emails from Jeffrey Epstein that mention President Trump. Sandy.
Well, details about those Epstein emails in just a moment. But first, after 7 weeks, the government shutdown has ended. And so, for the American people, that means some stability, returning to airports and SNAP funding benefits. And federal employees could be back on the jobs tomorrow.
On this vote, the yeas are 222, the nays are 209.
That gavel tonight signaling the U.S. government is reopening after a long day of debates. The House tonight voting to approve the spending bill, which had already passed the Senate.
Thank you.
President Trump signing the Republican-backed bill, blaming Democrats for the historic 43-day shutdown.
The total effect of the damage their antics cause will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families.
Democrats were pushing to extend the tax credit to lower the cost of health care, but they did not get the provisions they demanded.
House Democrats are here on the Capitol steps to reiterate our strong opposition to this spending bill because it fails to address the Republican health care crisis.
For many Americans, though, the reopening will bring relief. As the shutdown dragged on, families lined up at food banks, federal workers went without paychecks, and travelers were stranded at airports because of FAA cutbacks.
It was a game they played with real people's lives.
Just after the vote tonight, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson called the shutdown a Democratic political stunt.
They openly admitted, many of them said it in their own words, that they used the American people as leverage in this political game. They knew that it would cause that pain to the people, and they did it anyway.
The shutdown did give President Trump a reprieve from the Jeffrey Epstein saga, but now it's back. The big news today, Democrats on the House Oversight Committee releasing emails that mention President Trump. One email from the Epstein estate referring to convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell saying about Trump, of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. In another, Epstein reportedly wrote, Trump spent hours at my house with one of the alleged victims. Mr. Trump on Truth Social tonight saying Democrats are using the Epstein hoax to try and deflect from their massive failures, including the shutdown. Well, we know that so many people are planning their holiday travel. The FAA says flight reductions will stay at 6%, at least until air traffic controller staffing amps up and they can assure safety for passengers and crew. But they do expect that will happen before the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm Sandra Mitchell. Micah and Cher, back to you.
Sandra, thank you. Breaking news now out of Chicago, where civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson is hospitalized tonight. Jackson, who is 84 years old, was admitted to the hospital by police escort and is under observation for a neurodegenerative condition that he has been managing for more than a decade. He was diagnosed with progressive supranuclear palsy, or PSP, last April, a condition often misdiagnosed as Parkinson's disease. His family is thanking well-wishers for their thoughts and prayers tonight.
A live look outside now as a powerful storm is barreling towards Southern California, bringing with it days of rain, possible flash floods, and concerns over mudslides and debris flows. Evacuation warnings have already been issued for people living near the burn scar areas.
Tonight, residents are preparing for the storm, which is expected to last for several days, beginning tomorrow night. We have live team coverage. Rick Chambers is in Sierra Madre, Carlos Saucedo in Malibu.
But we begin with meteorologist Vera Jimenez tracking the storm for us tonight. Vera.
Thank you so much, Micah. Yes, a live look outside takes us to Long Beach, where we have plenty of cloud cover, but no rain just yet. As we go ahead and take a quick look at the max Doppler, you can see that most of the rain at this point is falling in central and northern California. Most of it's still over the Pacific Ocean, but some of those prefrontal bands are already making their way onshore. That is expected to get a little bit closer to us by tomorrow evening. I would say by about 8:30, it's going to make its way towards Santa Barbara. And then by the time we're on the 10 o'clock news, there's a pretty good chance that we could already start to see some of that rain move on shore. In fact, as I show you the future cast, here's what it looks like at 7:15 tomorrow. This is a new update, and as you can see, most of it is in Santa Barbara, but some of it looks like some of those prefrontal bands are actually making their way through Orange County and into parts of the Inland Empire. And again, this is what is ahead of the cold front. Once the cold front arrives, we really are going to see a bulk of that rain. And so that's Friday, 2:35 a.m. So please keep in mind that that morning commute on Friday is going to be rough. We're looking at not just light rain, but also moderate to even heavy at times. And some of these orange cells do have the potential to produce some thunderstorms. We're going to see thunderstorms embedded in some of these cells. Even though we don't have any watches, warnings, or advisories, again, mostly because of the track of the storm and its positioning. Even though we don't have any at the moment in play, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get any. So if you are part of those evacuation orders, those parts of those communities, make sure you heed the warning, get yourself prepared, and get yourself packed just in case, because there is a potential for flooding, especially near the burn scars. We'll take a look at the rest of those details and numbers in a moment. For now, I'll send it back to you guys.
Vera, thank you. And the incoming storm has potential to cause some serious damage, particularly to the burn scar areas from January's wildfires. Residents near the Palisades fire burn areas are being asked to get ready to evacuate ahead of tomorrow's powerful rain.
Carlos Saucedo is with us from Malibu tonight with how people are preparing. Carlos.
Micah, sure, consider this the calm before the storm. As Vera just mentioned, the heavy stuff, the heavier rain is not expected until Friday, but storm preps are already underway here in Malibu, from K-rails to sandbags. The upcoming storm is set to last for several days, and emergency crews in the burn scar areas are not taking any chances. LA County officials have issued evacuation warnings for areas near the recent wildfire burn scars, including the Palisades and Franklin fire in Malibu.
We got an alert today, which is kind of good that they're pre-warning all the locals and all the members of the community.
The storm has the potential of producing heavy rainfall, triggering mudslides, rock, and debris flows.
And all weather is trouble weather here in Malibu, and so that's kind of like the precautionary tale, I guess.
He's right. You might remember the muddy mayhem caused earlier this year near Las Flores Canyon Road as a wall of mud rushed towards Duke's, preventing the popular restaurant from reopening.
Carlos, we're all worried about the mudslides, just like Topanga Canyon, and maybe it'll be shut down for a little bit.
The mud is the biggest problem when it comes closer to the Canyon Road, and that's when we get like the big boulders falling down.
All LA County fire stations have sandbags available for residents concerned about flooding. 13,000 feet of K-rail are in place in Pacific Palisades to protect against any potential debris flows. LAPD is reaching out to residents at roughly 60 properties that are vulnerable. Impacts in the area could include power outages as well as road flooding.
Malibu Canyon, I would say if you don't have to drive tomorrow, please don't. Please don't. In the next couple days, it's not worth it.
Good advice from residents there who plan to hunker down, but also have their things ready to go in case they're forced to evacuate. Reporting live tonight in Malibu, Carlos Salcedo, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you, Carlos. In the San Gabriel foothills, people are bracing for wet weather. Residents and business owners near the Eaton fire burn scar have been preparing throughout the day.
KTLA's Rick Chambers is live in Sierra Madre with more. Rick.
And guys, as you know, there are miles and miles of burn scar from the Eaton fire, and not just Altadena, but here near Sierra Madre as well. And the fear is if we get the heavy rain over the next few days, the hillsides here may start moving again. The water trickles through a flood channel tonight out along Woodland Drive here in Sierra Madre. But this is what the area looked like just 8 months ago. Mud and debris overflowing the catch basins and right into people's homes.
If we have the torrential rains the next week, we could see more flooding again.
Glenn Lamsden lives right at the base of Woodland and built these protective stone walls after previous fires.
You can see the 3 holes, and we have posts that go in there and then 2x12s that go across here.
With heavy rain predicted all along the Eaton burn scar and this safety alert in effect starting tomorrow evening. The residents are hoping that the hillsides hold.
Hopefully we don't get what we had in February, where the mud just comes through because the Yucca Trail debris basin has not been maintained. It's at overcapacity right now.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
In Altadena, more preps underway. Susan Midas, who lost her home in the fire, is loading up with sandbags for the expected downpour.
Hopefully keep the water from going onto our lot and causing further erosion and further destruction to our property.
Sean Dash is a fire victim as well, who is right in the midst of rebuilding and spent his day tarping the property.
Because everything gets soaked, and you've got a lot of materials, like drywall, fresh drywall, that'll get ruined in the rain.
And we're expecting several days of rain, inches of it here in the foothills. Residents being told to be ready to evacuate any time after sundown tomorrow. And guys,